The world is full of fascinating places that attract adventurers and explorers alike. From tropical paradises to towering mountain peaks, these destinations offer a wide range of experiences. But not all stunning locations are as safe as they seem. Hidden behind their beauty are natural death zones, places where danger lurks in the form of extreme climates, deadly wildlife, or unpredictable disasters. While some of these locations might still draw the curious and the brave, they come with risks that shouldn't be taken lightly. Here's a look at 15 terrifying natural death zones you didn't know existed. Number 15. New Smyrna Beach, Florida. New Smyrna Beach might look like a good paradise, with its golden sands and waves that call to surfers like a siren song. But beneath that picture-perfect surface lurks a hidden menace: sharks. Yes, this Florida hotspot isn't just a vacationer's dream, it's also the world's unofficial shark attack capital. Every year, these misunderstood predators confuse surfers with seals, their favorite meal. Now, imagine being out there catching waves, thinking you're a star in a surf movie, only to find yourself in Jaws, the sequel. It's not personal, though. Sharks don't actually have a taste for humans. They just make terrible dining mistakes. While the odds of an attack are slim, the possibility is enough to make you double-check your wetsuit. If you're heading here, maybe bring some shark repellent. Or, stick to the beach chairs. After all, it's hard to enjoy the sunset with a bite mark as a souvenir. Nature and its inhabitants are truly awesome. Number 14. Hawaii Volcanoes. National Park, Hawaii. Well, Hawaii Volcanoes National Park might sound like a dream destination. It's got those postcard-worthy lava flows, lush green landscapes, and the kind of sunsets that make you question why you ever go back to reality. But while it's visually stunning, it's also hiding a very real danger: toxic volcanic gases. Yep, those mesmerizing steam clouds, they're not exactly spa treatments. They're full of sulfur dioxide, which can make your lungs feel like they've signed up for a marathon they didn't train for. And don't even get us started on the lava itself. Sure, it's slow-moving most of the time, but trip on a rock, and you'll learn the hard way why it's called molten. Tourists love to get as close as possible for those envy-inducing Instagram shots, but one gust of wind or sudden eruption could make you rethink your priorities. Bottom line, respect the volcanoes or end up as a cautionary tale for the next wave of visitors. Number 13. Cliffs of Moher, Ireland. The Cliffs of Moher are Ireland's crown jewel, a breathtaking stretch of coastline that looks like it's been plucked straight out of a fantasy novel. But let's be clear, those sheer 700-foot drops aren't playing around. Every year, tourists flock here for the views, and every year, some people take one step too many toward the edge. With unpredictable winds and no fences in certain areas, it's a recipe for disaster if you're not careful. And yet, there's always that one person dangling their feet over the edge for a selfie. Spoiler alert, no Instagram likes are worth it. The cliffs may be beautiful, but they demand respect. If you're planning to visit, maybe enjoy the scenery from a safe distance. It's just as magical when you're not risking a tumble into the Atlantic. Trust us, there's nothing poetic about becoming a human kite. Number 12. Darvaza Gas Crater, Turkmenistan. The Darvaza Gas Crater is better known by its fiery nickname, the Gates of Hell. And honestly, it lives up to the hype. This enormous burning pit in the Turkmen desert has been raging since 1971, thanks to a Soviet drilling mishap that sounds like the start of a bad sci-fi movie. The ground collapsed, exposing a massive natural gas reserve, which has been on fire ever since. Approaching this inferno feels like stepping onto another planet. Searing heat, toxic fumes, and an eerie glow that could give Dante nightmares. The journey to the crater isn't much safer, with rough terrain and a lack of facilities. It's not exactly a five-star tourist spot, but it draws the curious like moths to a flame. If you ever visit, keep your distance. Getting too close to this fiery pit might make you wish you'd booked a beach vacation instead. Number 11. La Oroya, Peru. Welcome to La Oroya, where the air isn't just thick, it's toxic. This Peruvian mining town has one of the most polluted environments on Earth, courtesy of decades of heavy metal contamination. Lead, arsenic, and cadmium levels here aren't just high, they're astronomical. The residents have endured years of health issues, from respiratory problems to dangerously high blood lead levels, making everyday life a battle for survival. The surrounding Andes might be beautiful, but the town itself looks like a dystopian landscape, complete with smog so dense it feels like the sky is permanently frowning. Despite its grim reality, La Oroya is a stark reminder of the environmental cost of unchecked industrial activity. If you're planning a visit, maybe pack a gas mask, or better yet, reconsider. This is one stop where toxic takes on a whole new meaning. Number 10. Naka Crystal Cave, Mexico. Naka Crystal Cave is like something out of a fantasy novel with shimmering crystals that stretch over 30 feet tall. But let's be honest, it's as deadly as it is beautiful. Located deep underground, this Mexican wonderland has temperatures soaring to 136 degrees, 58 degrees Celsius, and humidity levels that can make you feel like you're breathing soup. Spend more than a few minutes here without protective gear, and you'll be sweating buckets, literally. The crystals themselves were formed over thousands of years thanks to the scorching heat from magma below. While it's closed to the public, some daring researchers have braved the cave, armed with special suits and equipment. Their verdict? Stunning, but not worth frying your lungs over. If you're dreaming of crystal palaces, you might want to stick to the Disney version. This one's a little too hot to handle. Number 9. Norilsk, Russia. Norilsk isn't just cold, it's downright toxic. This Russian city, nestled in the Arctic Circle, is home to one of the world's largest nickel smelting operations, which has turned the entire area into a pollution nightmare. The air is so saturated with sulfur dioxide that acid rain is practically the local weather forecast. And the soil? It's so contaminated with heavy metals that mining it has become a viable industry. The residents of Norilsk endure harsh winters, smog-filled skies, and a quality of life that's more post-apocalyptic than picturesque. Tourists aren't exactly lining up to visit, and honestly, who can blame them? Norilsk might have its industrial charm, but breathing clean air isn't on the menu. If you're planning to explore the Arctic, there are far less hazardous options, preferably ones where your lungs won't feel like they're on strike. Number 8. Vanuatu, Pacific Ocean. Vanuatu might look like a slice of paradise with its pristine beaches, lush greenery, and friendly locals. But behind that postcard-perfect facade lies a battleground where Mother Nature unleashes her full fury. This island nation is a hotspot for earthquakes, cyclones, and volcanic eruptions. In fact, it ranks as one of the most disaster-prone places in the world. Imagine living in a place where the ground shakes one day, the skies howl the next, and a volcano casually decides to let off steam. The locals, with their remarkable resilience, have adapted to these challenges, but it's no walk in the park. Tourists are welcome, of course, but with every visit comes the risk of experiencing nature's mood swings firsthand. If you go, keep an eye on the weather forecast, and maybe learn the quickest route to higher ground. You'll need both to enjoy Vanuatu's beauty without getting swept away. Number 7. Hoya Forest, Romania. Nestled in the heart of Transylvania, Hoya Forest has earned a reputation as the Bermuda Triangle of Romania. At first glance, it might seem like your average woodland getaway, but step inside and you'll quickly feel the atmosphere shift. The forest is infamous for strange occurrences, ghost sightings, eerie whispers, and even reports of UFOs. And those twisted, contorted trees? They look like they've been plucked straight from a Tim Burton film. Local legend speaks of a young girl who disappeared into the forest, only to reappear years later, unchanged and unable to recall what happened. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, the Hoya forest is undeniably unsettling. It's a great spot for thrill seekers, but don't forget, a relaxing stroll here might turn into the creepiest walk of your life. Bring a flashlight and maybe a lucky charm. You never know what's lurking in the shadows. All right, guys, now let's head over to number 6, Singi Forest, Madagascar. Welcome to Singi Forest, or as the locals call it, the Forest of Knives. This natural wonder in Madagascar is a labyrinth of razor-sharp limestone formations that look like they were designed to shred shoes, and maybe a bit of skin, too. The jagged peaks rise as high as 70 meters, making them both awe-inspiring and utterly terrifying. Venturing through this terrain isn't for the faint-hearted. One wrong step could leave you with more than just a scraped knee. Despite its dangers, the forest is a haven for unique wildlife, including species found nowhere else on Earth. For adventurous souls who dare to explore, it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience. But don't even think about going without a local guide. Singi demands respect, proper gear, and maybe a good pair of gloves. It's a place where nature shows off its sharp side, literally. Number 5. Mount Washington, USA. Mount Washington may not be the tallest peak, but it sure knows how to pack a punch. Known for having some of the most extreme weather on Earth, this New Hampshire mountain has wind speeds that could knock over a bison and temperatures that make Antarctica feel cozy. The summit once recorded wind gusts of 231 mph, a world record that stood for decades. Hikers often underestimate its dangers, lured by its relatively low elevation. But don't let the numbers fool you. This mountain's weather can turn deadly in minutes. Sunny skies can give way to freezing storms faster than you can lace up your boots. If you're planning a trip, prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And if someone dares to call it just a hill, feel free to tell them that Mount Washington laughs in the face of Everest's weather. Will you visit this deadly place? Number 4. Lake Natron, Tanzania. Lake Natron might be one of the most visually stunning places in Africa, with its blood-red waters and surreal landscapes. But don't be fooled. This lake is no friend to living creatures. Its water is loaded with sodium carbonate, giving it an alkalinity so high that it can literally burn skin and eyes. Temperatures here can soar to 120 degrees, turning the area into a steamy cauldron of danger. Birds that mistake the lake for a safe landing spot often end up preserved like statues, encased in a crust of salt. Despite its deadly reputation, Lake Natron is home to a few hardy flamingos that have adapted to its harsh environment. For humans, though, it's best admired from a safe distance. Think of it as nature's look, don't touch zone, a beautiful but deadly masterpiece. Number 3. Snake Island, Brazil. If the name Snake Island doesn't already set off alarm bells, let's make it crystal clear. This Brazilian island is absolutely crawling with venomous snakes. Located about 90 miles off the coast of São Paulo, the island is home to the golden lancehead viper, one of the deadliest snakes in the world. There's an estimated 1 snake per square meter here, which means you're never more than a step away from danger. The Brazilian Navy has banned civilians from visiting, and for good reason. 1 bite from these snakes can kill in a matter of hours. The island's isolation has allowed the vipers to thrive, creating a reptilian paradise that's a nightmare for humans. Even researchers only visit with strict precautions. If you've ever wondered what a snake-filled horror movie looks like, this island is the real-life version, minus the happy ending. Number 2. Danakil Depression, Ethiopia. The Danakil Depression in Ethiopia isn't just hot, it's scorching. With temperatures regularly exceeding 120 degrees, it's one of the hottest places on Earth. But the heat is just the beginning. The area is dotted with bubbling lava lakes, toxic sulfur springs, and acidic pools that look like they belong on another planet. The ground here is so unstable that stepping in the wrong spot could send you plunging into a boiling abyss. Despite its dangers, the Danakil Depression attracts scientists and adventurers intrigued by its alien-like landscapes. For locals, it's a place of survival, as salt mining continues in this harsh environment. Visiting is possible, but only with experienced guides who know the terrain inside and out. In short, it's not for the faint of heart, or anyone who values air conditioning. Number 1. Death Valley, USA. The name says it all. Death Valley is not a place for the unprepared. This California desert holds the record for the highest temperature ever recorded on Earth, a blistering 134 degrees. It's so hot that park rangers warn visitors not to leave their cars, as a walk could quickly turn deadly. Water is scarce, shade is limited, and the sun feels like it's actively plotting against you. Despite its reputation, Death Valley sees plenty of tourists every year, drawn by its striking dunes and otherworldly landscapes. But if you're planning to visit, pack plenty of water, a good hat, and maybe some survival skills. This is a place where nature shows no mercy, and the only thing standing between you and disaster is your own preparation. If you find this video amazing, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon in the next one.